What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sunday Drive. Today we are driving my roommate's M3, the half clapper M3. Used to be my car, but now
it's my car.
It is his car. There's a bit of a story related to this. If you guys have known, a lot of you probably don't, because I told the story, but it was a long time ago. The E36 M3 I own now is my third one. This is the second one that I own. So we're gonna go on the road and we're gonna drive this car. It just got some new parts on it, Z3 steering rack, and has some AKG solid motor mounts that are pretty fun to drive on. And we're gonna talk about the story of what this poor half clapper M3 has gone through. All right, wanna see something sick?
Yeah. What is that? What does that do?
It's tack.
Oh, nice. So
Right.
I'm idling at 700.
Oh man, I miss driving this car.
That's fun.
Yeah, so let's talk about the story. So when I was 15, I started looking at E36 M3s back in high school, as a high schooler tends to do. Oh, no, he did the thing. He did the thing. He did the thing again. Come on. Come on, you. No. There we go. As high schoolers tend to do. And my first one I bought, we're not going to talk about the first one, we don't have time in this video to tell the whole story, but I eventually decided I wanted to buy a higher mileage car that had service records. So I bought this. It was sort of tracked out, but it had service records since 1999, and it had mulberry Vaders, which were recovered. So I was like, okay, sick. I got it. It needed a ton of work. It just, the coilovers were blown, the KWV1s. It needed a clutch. It needed a bunch of other things. And at the time, I couldn't afford it, so I was going to sell this car. Then my mom decided that she was going to save this car for me. So she put in money to fix this car, and then I totaled it stupidly. Ah man, dude, this is a Jim Conforti intake on it, and a Super Sprint catback. Yep, sounds really good. So I totaled it, cheap tires in the rain, and I was stupid, I was 16, I wasn't a good driver yet. So after that, it went to Copart, and the guy bought it, and he decided that he could fix the car cheaper than the body shop, and he did a terrible job. He drilled holes through the quarter panel, totally botched it up. And then we go to buy, he messaged me years later. I initially wanted to buy it back off him, he didn't want to sell it. We go to look at it, saw the bumper is screwed up. He lied to us about crashing it, which is another part of the story that we're going to leave out. If you guys want to hear like the full version of the story at some point, we might sit down for like 20-30 minutes at one point and just like just tell the whole story. But yeah, we were walking away from it. I told him to walk, actually. He wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
And then the guy lowered his price, and here we are. So you've owned this for like 3 years now?
Yeah, coming up on. Actually, just passed, so yeah.
Yeah, so what have you had to do in your ownership of this car so far?
Well, first thing we did was the bumper on it. Got a new one. Sonny actually painted that for me, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
We did a bumper. While we were doing the bumper, we actually realized that it didn't have a sway bar anymore, so I got a sway bar.
Yeah, so the guy that bought it also deleted the sway bar for some reason. Probably because haha, funny drifting.
So I got those two general things fixed. I took it to the shop and did some more general maintenance. So I have an oil pan baffle now, and my oil pump nut is wire tied. As Sonny mentioned earlier, I have different engine and trans mounts. It really helps with
the AKG 75D trans mounts, and then they're like rubber. It's a E23, or it's like the first gen 7 series, like rubber mount with like a limiting cup. Feels really good, really direct. I like it.
Yeah, it's very nice. So I did that in like the first round. That was the first summer that I owned it. That's what I did. I mean, I've had to do recently. I've done
Z3 steering rack.
I've done my Z3 steering rack. I had all the fluids changed in the car, so transmission, diff, brake fluid, along with oil, coolant, everything like that.
It's also, yeah, XC08 heads that stop on a dime, and Euro floating rotors, which were done before you bought this car.
Yeah, there's a lot of work done before I did get my hands on this.
It has like the binaural like fuel anti-starvation kit.
Yeah, it's got the double fuel pumps from that. Underdrive pulleys, E-fan. It's full poly, I think.
Yeah, full poly. I think it's like rev shift, subframe bushing, some other stuff. No, it's a nice car.
Mm-hmm. The Vanos was rebuilt at some point as well.
Oh yeah, I think in 2016 it had a Dr. Vanos unit installed. In 2017.
Yeah, so it's pretty. It drives really well. It's cosmetically a huge basket case, and I'm
clear
not
coat's
going to
leaving.
address that for a while.
Oh, it drives so nice, dude. Gonna turn like full headlights on.
Yeah, it's probably.
Man, so that Z3 steering rack, it's a little heavier than the stock E36 steering rack, but it's got a good weight to it. And it feels nice. It's definitely sharper, less dead on center for sure. Wow. Yeah, so that's how we got to where we are. With the car.
That's the current day, basically.
Yeah, current day basically. Oh yeah, when you first bought it too, the first day, I was trying to teach him stick in it, and you know when you learn stick, you stall. Like that's just what happens. But what we didn't account for was the previous owner didn't fully bolt down. Was it the power steering pump?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it fell off.
Yeah.
So on your first day ownership, this thing was on a tow truck.
Yeah. The only other time I guess I've been stranded by it 3 times now, but one time my idle control valve fell out while I was pushing on the back roads, and it just wouldn't start. There was too big of a vacuum.
I wouldn't hold an idle.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold an idle. I took that to my mechanic though, and he initially thought that the timing might have slipped. And as he was taking everything apart, or trying to more diagnose it, he just found that ICV was lying out, stuck it back up in there, and was like, "Yeah, you're good. Car runs good." He didn't charge me anything for that, so that was really nice. And then,
How do you even charge you for that?
No, fuck no.
Oh, that guy's great.
Yeah. And then what's it called? Today, one of my buddies forgot to tighten my bleeder screw all the way, and I started squirting a bunch of coolant. And I didn't really want to try and limp it anywhere because we were coming up on a construction zone and didn't want to risk it overheating, so I just got it towed to an auto parts store to buy more coolant.
Yeah. So
3 times. I feel like it's not that bad.
no, relative to E36 ownership, I mean, I've had a rough ownership.
Yeah.
With my car, but mine has the opposite of this car. This car's been messed with, mine wasn't messed with. So it's there are issues that come with either scenario, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that short shifter.
Your limiter's lower than mine.
Is it?
Yeah, that was at 6,800. Interesting.
Yeah. This does have a lower, yeah.
So you have some exciting future plans for this car too. Let's talk about that. Okay. So when I initially had this, my plan was kind of just like leave it as it is. I thought this car was pretty perfect as it is, and I still think it is. Like it drives really nice. Like he has bigger plans for this.
Yeah, I do. Eventually, we'll see how long this is going to end up taking, but I want to do head and transmission build, drive the car for NA for a while, get it really quick around the track so I know what I'm doing with it. And then eventually I do want to get a turbo on it. So with the belt transmission, I figure I can make around in the range of like 350 to 450. I feel like that's going to be a really healthy number for this car. Once it's at that, I think it'll pull really well, be really fast, faster than a lot of other cars that are rolling around. And I think it'll still be very handleable on the track. Won't have too many problems in corners or anything like that.
How much horsepower did you say?
About 400.
Or yeah, no, I think 400. That's like kind of the limit.
Yeah.
Of what these are stock. They can make more, but
well, you can make more, but then you need to go into.
It's more finicky.
It is, but it's also just like you have to put your power down a little better. You have to put more work into a lot of different other things that you wouldn't necessarily think you would. That's what I've been thinking.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression that we have on reading the internet. Like 400 that's a good number that the cars can handle really well. And
And I do want to do a felony form body kit or over fenders on this car.
Yeah, so, the quarter panels, the accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So when I crashed it, I spun out, my bumper smacked the flower van, and then I like scraped on something. So really what totaled this car was the quarter panel damage, which was at the time cosmetic. It still is cosmetic. There's nothing structural about it. It needs the body, right?
Yeah.
But it was totaled on the basis of cost to fix because it was very expensive. So the previous owner decided, hey, let me drill holes into it. And then he drilled holes into it and then bondoed over the holes. So now the quarter panel on the passenger side just kind of like, for lack of better words.
Yep, it's starting to rust out and it looks a little wavy.
Yeah, it's just not good.
That's the next point that I'm addressing on this with my shop. The same guy that did the most recent round. I want to say in like a month or two, this car will go back to him. He's gonna fix up all the damage he can there, and we're gonna. I don't even know if it's gonna have paint yet because I don't really mind. This car is already so ugly; it already has makeup paint everywhere.
Yeah.
Nothing matches. It's not a big deal. And if it helps to keep costs down, or that's money that I can spend in other places to actually freshen up the car in ways that matter a little more right now.
Yeah, all we really care about is like just making sure it doesn't rust through.
Yep, don't want it to rust. Make sure that the body is solid. It'd be nice if it looked even with the rest of the car. I don't care about color, but I'd really like to not look at it and be like, man, there's a huge wave where a dent once was in this car.
Yeah, exactly. And then at least if it's straight and it's not rusting through, then you know that later on you can put the over fenders on it and it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, this thing's so like planted. Mine feels planted, but the KW coilovers on this just feel really nice. Dude. Ah, those PFC pads are just amazing. You watch the temp?
No, I'm watching the tag.
Oh, the tag, yeah. No, it's funny to watch it move.
Well, I'm trying to see if you redline it again. I'm trying to see what the red line is.
Oh, yeah. That was limiter. What was that?
Not a 7.
I wonder if this is a stock tune, because the stock tune is 6800 in first and second, and then 6500 in every other gear, which is really weird. They said it has a Dynan Stage 2 tune on it, but that should make it 7000. And I feel like that wasn't 7. Well, time to get an RK10.
Yep.
Which is like the more immediate plan for this car. Like probably one of the next things you do, right?
We'll see.
Well, next 6 months anyway.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to raise the idol for the... I'm saying we, it's his car,
Yeah.
but like... I'm sort of like the godfather of this car, kind of. I'm like that weird uncle that comes around sometimes and just gives my advice. And then he sometimes takes it and sometimes doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like usually you take it.
It depends on what it is, but
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is more his car than it ever was mine. In retrospect, this was a nice car, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I'm sort of a purist, and I enjoy having something that's like OEM and really nice. This isn't that. This is a nice car, but for different reasons. This is actually perfect for what you wanted.
Yeah. Yep. I just wanted a platform.
You wanted a platform, a fast bucket.
Yep. I'm not the kind of person that's huge on cosmetic shit. I haven't had a sunroof panel in my car for years.
Yeah.
I just bought one, and it broke probably within 3 weeks of me having the car. And that was 3 years ago. So like, I'm not very specific about these things. I like my body to be straight, not rusty, and I like a car that can make power.
so strong from the outside. That noise. Dang. This is kind of a quick little like impromptu POV. It's about to go from paintwork. I like driving this car. He's gonna drive mine next, and someone else is driving mine right now, which is very rare. He's done a pretty good job. I trust him. Dude.
Why I always drive with the windows down.
Yeah, it's so much better. I hope you enjoyed this video. Getting a little M-Tech lore, a little Sunny lore. If this is your first video, you should watch the rest of the videos we do and subscribe. If you're not your first, Jesus, if this is not your first video, like the video. And I don't know, like that'd be pretty sick and stuff, you know? But that said, we'll see you in the next one. Dude, those pads are incredible. And your pedal, it's so direct. Like I can modulate it so well. Like, how did they do that? My Hawk pads are not as good, and they have less modulation. And it's a soft material. It should have more modulation, but it doesn't. This is like perfect. The PFC 08 pads are just like the best brake pad. Oh my God, these are so amazing.
Coolant is sitting on the belts and just like in that area in general. It's like more than